Good morning. Just like the Wuhan virus that later became COVID-19, ZANU-PF is a very contagious and dangerous virus that needs to be contained. Because the Wuhan virus was not contained, it seeped into public life in China and soon took over the whole world and became a global crisis. ZANU-PF is the same. Ever since Emerson Mnangagwa was released to become the president of Zimbabwe, the so-called Second Republic have morphed into an epidemic of ununderstandable proportions, with the economy of Zimbabwe spiraling to the depth of the abyss and living conditions of ordinary Zimbabweans, both in the country and outside the country, so dire that a solution is no longer in sight. For the virus is like a worm in a decaying body, worms in a decaying body that have actually eaten over the flesh of the country, such that there seems to be no remedy inside or remedy that could be found to help the country. Therefore, I suggest that the government of Idi Mnangagwa needs to be treated like the Wuhan virus. It needs to be contained. Gentlemen, Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa needs to be contained ASAP. He is the virus that is eating away the society of Zimbabwe. Now, it calls for wise and good men. Not only wisdom is needed, but also good men. Men who are selfless in nature. Men who understand what is at stake here. The higher call right now is not looking for legitimacy via constitutions and institutions that you already know have been rotten by this Wuhan virus. During the COVID-19, the whole world went through an unprecedented period of lockdowns. The lockdowns are unprecedented and are not what normally happens in any society. But the situation warranted for lockdowns to take shape. Even in Zimbabwe, events that need to take shape to set Zimbabwe free should be unprecedented events. Events that will require things that we normally do not do. Require the use of a wisdom or a strategy that is an aberration from other strategies used by other countries who have had similar problems. Our problem is much deeper than other countries. We are dealing with a Wuhan virus in the face of Emerson Mnangagwa and his cronies. One thing that we people need to understand about Idi Mnangagwa and this Wuhan virus like people is that they are pushed or moved by certain impulses, and they themselves cannot help. They cannot help it. These impulses by nature force them to be oppressive, force them to be selfish. Therefore, talking to them does not yield any results. This virus, which is Idi Mnangagwa and his cronies, is beyond lecturing. There is no lecturing you can tell them that could cause them to change. There is no kubabonisa indlela that can cause them to understand and comprehend the gravity of the situation. For the thing that is pushing them is perhaps beyond human. As I said, they have been infected by cancerous uh, motives and cancerous impulses. So these impulses are so strongly geared towards forcing them to take a direction of destroying our nation, and they just cannot help it. They are beyond repair, ladies and gentlemen. This is a special case of a group of people that we need to contain, and we need to contain using the apparatus and the substances that we have at our disposal to get things done. As I said, that it is only good men who can do this thing. Not only should they be good, but they should also be wise and knowing very well what they are doing is for national integrity and for national glory. For such a time and place like this calls for such a people like that. My name is Ngobani Zondo, and I do believe that we do need a global coalition against what is happening in Zimbabwe. A coalition that starts all the way from the top of the world, even from the Pentagon, even from Wall Street, even from London, even from China, and all the way to Africa, from the OAU to SADC to Pretoria, even the forces in Harare, in the opposition, and right within ZANU-PF and the general populace of Zimbabwe, who need to come to a conclusion and say, enough is enough. We can no longer allow this Wuhan virus, which is Idem Nangabo, from spreading any further. This is the time that action has to be taken, ladies and gentlemen, and that action has to be taken by all of us. I put therefore the responsibility in all of you progressive forces in Zimbabwe and outside Zimbabwe to begin to realize that this cancerous spirit, which is Idi Mnangagwa, if it is allowed to go further, it will produce its copycats across Africa. And if it happens across Africa, it will also produce copycats across the world, and the world will decay into disrepair. And therefore, just like we contain viruses in one nation to avoid global consequences, it is necessary for the global alliance to recognize the need to contain the Wuhan, the Harare virus, which is ED Nangagwa. My name is Ngobani Zondo, and I'm looking forward to working with this global coalition to save Zimbabwe and Africa and the world from the next global catastrophe. Have a great day.